Chomp.
Hi everybody and welcome back to UR Supreme Toys. We just got our first wave of Silverhawks in the other day. We're going to start off with Quicksilver here. Of course, we've got his little shipper box here, nothing special. Go ahead and pop him out of it. And as per usual, we have this glorious, shiny, silver chrome packaging. And this is an amazing box. Just like with Wave 2, these packages look amazing. Got the raised Silverhawks logo on the back. Got the raised Silverhawks emblem. So let's do a slip reveal. Alright. First impressions. How do I feel about this guy? How do I feel? Doesn't look bad. The face isn't perfect, but I've seen worse from Super7, so yeah, I'm not too he doesn't look too bad. That's all I can say. He just looks okay. Got this nice little metallic photo of Quicksilver here, the leader of the Silverhawks. Got his bio. Quicksilver, leader of the Silverhawks. Quicksilver is the leader of the Silverhawks, and he reports directly to Stargazer. He is the human partner of the cyborg bird Tallyhawk, a human law enforcement officer modified into a cyborg to withstand the effects of hypertravel through space. This grants him enhanced physical abilities such as strength, agility, and speed. He has a hawk-like faceplate that he can lower to cover his face while flying or fighting, as well as built-in wings for atmospheric and space flying, gliding. He has a built-in laser in his arm, located in the blue band for combat, and retractable talons in his feet for attacking while flying. Let's go ahead and get him out of the package. Okay, we got Quicksilver out of the box here. He's got a plethora of accessories. Let's go ahead and take a look at this face. His face is painted on, and his features seem to be painted cleanly. This is what I'm talking about in regards to the G.I. Joe line. The obvious paint looks so much better for flesh tones than that flesh plastic that they use for their Ultimate G.I. Joes. There is a bit of issue with the paint fully fleshing around the edges of the helmet. You can see here at the very tip there's some silver peeking through. Now I'm not going to nitpick that because I think he looks good. I think the face looks good. Definitely an improvement with the cover over for the flashing from the mold lines. His paint is very minimalistic. They cast him in a gray plastic and oversprayed him with a somewhat metallic finish. It looks decent. I don't think it looks bad. Only his forearm and hand are painted flesh. He has this little buckle painted a darker silver and a yellow, which is kind of just, just a detail that's there. It doesn't look good or bad, really. It just seems like somebody stuck some Play-Doh there. And of course he has a wrist device. I'm not sure what this is called or what it's for, but this is actually painted pretty decently. The sculpt is okay. This is definitely going after the cartoon design, so if you're looking for that aesthetic, here you go. Other than that, he's just straight up silver gray all the way around. Now as far as articulation is concerned, he's got his head on ball joint, which does pretty good. Pretty good up and down motion. Great side to side. These shoulder cuts are kind of nasty looking. They do not flush with the plastic or seam very well. I don't know why they did that. It looks pretty bad. But they pop out of the socket easy, that's for sure. Wasn't trying to do that. So you're going to have to be careful with that when you're going to pose his arms. Because of that large cut, which is just odd to me, it's like it goes so much further down the shoulder than it should. He can put his arms up really high compared to, say, Steel Wheel or Bluegrass. He's got the swivel, bicep cut on both sides, a single jointed elbow, which also swivels, on both sides. And then of course his hinge and swivel wrists. He has a chest cut, which only twists. There is no crunch there. I don't know if they just abandoned that concept. I thought that this was going to be a bobble. In fact, there's nothing there except the twist, which is weird. It's just weird to me. I feel like they would have done an ab crunch. I don't like the typical ab crunch that they do, but I like the bobble ab crunches like this. But there's nothing there. It's just a straight twist. It's weird. This is like a rubber diaper here, which is something that I wish they would have done with their G.I. Joe line as well. When done properly, it looks good. It doesn't look so good on him because it's kind of bulky. It does have his thigh hinge and twists on both sides and the swivel. Even though the diaper is soft, it is still a little difficult for him to get a 90 degree. I feel like Super7's trying different things to see how they pan out, but they can't quite key them in to the appropriate level or degree to make them work perfectly. I'm giving them kudos for making the effort to try different things, though. Hopefully with time, they'll get it. It's just a shame we're going through all these core characters while they're still sort of practicing what they should be doing. I did notice this right here on his stomach. I believe this mark just happened from me twisting his waist. So be cautious with that. He has a single jointed knee, which does 90 degree, and it also twists. So that's pretty good. And none of his joints have been stuck or tight so far. And then he has his ankle, rocker, and hinge, which are actually nicely done for the size of his feet. Now, as far as standing is concerned, those rockers are a bit wobbly, as you can see. So he might want to topple over. I feel like his head might be a little too big, maybe. For a quick comparison, here's Steel Wheel and Bluegrass. So for some reason, I'm not quite certain, Quicksilver is just out of scale. He's just out of scale. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm remembering it improperly. But I don't remember him being bigger than Steel Wheel. He's taller than Steel Wheel. His head is bigger than Steel Wheel's. Bluegrass just fits in pretty decently, I guess. But I don't know. There's just something about the features that just seem off. I'm not quite certain what it is. Quicksilver's just kind of a big guy. Quicksilver comes with plenty of great accessories. He comes with 2 Tallyhawks. He has the flying Tallyhawk, whose head actually twists, which I love that. That's great. And his legs are hinged. Oh, cool. That's nice. I didn't expect that. The other Hawks from Wave 2 were pretty stationary, so that's pretty good that they did that. His hips are also hinged. Wow. So Tallyhawk actually has some mobility. Is it feasible? Like, he can stand like that? That's pretty good. Was it necessary? Absolutely not. Do I appreciate it? I do. It doesn't really give him any option for like clipping to Quicksilver's arm or anything. This is a great looking figure. I think he's painted pretty decently. Got his little bird chest painted. His face and beak are painted really good. The silver on him is fantastic. Every single part of his wing is sculpted out, so there's actually a line through it. They didn't have to do that. I feel like that's an extra detail. It makes it look a lot better. But that being said, that also increases the risk of breakage at these points, because this is a very thin, flimsy plastic. So be cautious when storing these guys or displaying them on high shelves, because he could very well fall off. And I'm barely pushing on that, and that could snap or crease. But, you know, he still looks amazing. It also comes with a perched Tallyhawk. Again, I just don't see any ability to clip him onto a wrist or a shoulder. He just sort of is going to stand there. This is where I feel like some perches would have been cool for these guys. But his head twists on this model too, and he has the hinged hips and knees as well. The wings are stationary. He looks pretty good. I did not have Quicksilver growing up. Really, I didn't have any of the heroes. I had a handful of villains. But occasionally at flea markets, I would come across some accessories, and Tallyhawk was one of the accessories I came across. So I had the actual Tallyhawk, and I played with him with all kinds of toys, G.I. Joes, Battle Beasts, whatever I wanted. He had that cool little like wing clasping action where his wings would scissor back and forth. I also had the giant roleplay Tallyhawk as a kid that I got from the flea market. So Tallyhawk is definitely my favorite of the birds. He also comes with his left and right flying wings. So if we were to pop his arms out, which they come out very easily. It's ridiculous how easy they are. It's almost scary. And we pop them into his left and right respectively. They are hinged. Make sure you orient them properly, because this little port is only on the front of the shoulder. The shoulder joints are so tight that when you go to pose it, they want to pop in and out of the socket. So be cautious of that. They are tight. It's hard to get them oriented properly too. Gosh, they do not want to twist into place. Got his little flying hands right here. I did notice that the actual hands are molded in a silver plastic with no paint on them whatsoever, so they kind of are out of place with the color of the actual wings and arms. Interesting. Just like Steel Will, Quicksilver comes with these laser effects for his shoulders. The tips are removable blast effects too. I don't think these are very practical, though they do fit in a lot better than they did with Steel Will. Steel Wills were kind of difficult. Be cautious with these though, because you will break these pegs. They look cool, or if you want to have them flying in a flying pose of some sort, but they are not like the most practical accessory. These arms socket in way too easily though. I feel like they should have been a little tighter, just a little tighter. And of course, other than the flying hands and the closed fists attached to him in the box, he comes with a pair of flesh and silver grasping hands and a pair of flesh and silver gripping hands. And that's it. He's pretty, I'm not going to say bare bones, but he's very minimalistic as far as accessories are concerned. I think that's okay. Sometimes I feel like these guys come with too much, and I feel like he comes with just enough. He has one more accessory. Probably the coolest one is his hawk helmet. Now, Bluegrass was the only one so far that hasn't come with a battle helmet. I don't think he really used it in the animated series, but he definitely has a battle mask. So I don't know why they didn't at least include it regardless. Let's see how it fits. The head pops off relatively easily. And the new one is tight. Really tight to get on there. But it does go on there. And it looks pretty good. I like that mask. If you're not really interested in the character profile, you can always just put the mask on him. And he looks just like a cyborg robot on your shelf. These ankles are terrible. I appreciate the two Tallyhawks. I like the helmeted head. The hands are all just perfect hands. The only gripes I'm going to have with this guy is, as I mentioned, the size of the profile is too big. Quicksilver is possibly a little too tall. I'd have to look at reference material. The metallic hands are not painted to match the color of the uniform. And the shoulder sockets pop out of place way too easily. And the actual shoulder hinge is way too tight for that feature. Other than that, Quicksilver's great. I think he's a good figure. I don't see any issues with him, you know, as far as other Ultimates have been a huge disappointment to me. The Silverhawks so far have been on par. Of course, this is only the first figure of 4. I think that covers everything. This has been an unboxing and review of Silverhawks Ultimates Quicksilver from Super7, and I am UR Supreme Toys. Thank you so much for watching.